Good evening. This is Erin Laswell, and I will be going over the adjusting process. Uh, the reason the adjusting process is important is that it can help a business with knowing exactly how much they have made in a specific time period. Basically, they'll have to do some adjusting once all of the entries have been made from the cash flow and any expenses that have been made. But there are going to have to be some adjusting whenever uh, everything is said and done at the end of that time period to determine what has been made. The businesses will definitely need to be able to know where their breakdowns are, so when it comes to the end of a period, they can be able to accurately determine their revenues. The adjusting process goes off two different parts. You have your cash basis accounting and your accrual basis accounting. The cash is not something that is involved in the adjusting process. Uh, Mostly the adjusting process will deal more with the accrual basis of accounting. The cash basis of accounting is the very beginning part of it. Um, because the cash has already been received and recorded at that point. So, whenever by the time that we do any adjusting, that is already done. Uh, Much of what is dealt with in the adjusting process is with the expenses and the revenues. So, you'll be dealing with the two different accounts, uh, usually adjusting in one or the other, if not both. There are two different concepts and principles within the adjusting process that can help with decision making, as some of those concepts and principles deal with the time frames and guides the accounting department through revenues and expenses. An entry level professional will tend to be at the beginning of the process, uh, really kind of before it starts, because we won't, speaking from experience, since I work in an accounting department, we don't deal with the adjustments or anything like that. We just input the data. Entry level positions tend to be inputting the data that would be later broken down or in the adjusting process. Um, we deal with the invoicing. We deal with what's going out so that whenever it's coming in and input, then it's all taken care of. Your mid-level and executive level professionals kind of deal more with the adjusting process. Depending on the size of the company, of course, they actually be adjusting. One or the other will be adjusting the entries, because small company, there is no mid-level. You have your beginning level and your professional level, so it's all different. They go over the details of the revenues and expenses that the low-level professionals input throughout the time frame that they are adjusting to determine the total amount of the revenue that was actually made. So whatever has came in and been input, they're going over that information to make sure everything's input correctly. Uh, Usually the highest level professionals will end up doing the full report, like your controllers and stuff like that. They'll be adjusting those reports and making sure everything matches on top of whatever everybody else has put in and adjusted. So, uh, ethics is something that, of course, in anything is a very big deal. Uh, and of course, like in my previous assignment, I talked about ethics, thou shalt not steal. But in this instance, I have a different verse: is thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee all night until the morning. So that kind of goes with the ethical issue that if the person doing the adjusting process doesn't do it correctly, and then those that are waiting on bonuses or commissions for a specific period of time may not get the correct amount that is actually due to them. The other ethical issue may arise as in the adjusting process is if there's consistent amount of errors that they're showing while they're doing the adjusting, then whoever's below them may not be putting in information correctly. So that is something that could be a definite ethical issue, and it's still technically stealing from the company. Adjusting, of course, is always going to be your most important thing. Not, or I wasn't say most important, but it would be highly important to be able to do, so that can be able to make sure that everything comes out correctly so that the company is making the money that needs to be made. That's the end of my slideshow. Thank you.